Hello, welcome back to Caught Above the Cut. So I'm just down at Westfield Lock again. There's been a work party down here all week because they got here last Saturday and they've been continuing the digging. You can see there's a digger in there right now clearing what's gone. You may remember from my recent videos, I did a walk-in video when I did a charity walk for the Canal Trust, and I came down here, nothing had really changed. Some of the coping stones over there had moved, but not much had been done, so it's still full of water. So they've actually achieved quite a lot this week. There's kind of a route through now, which there wasn't really before, so the smaller digger can come underneath and dig from there. And there's about 3 weeks of parties, so there's another party next week and then one the following week after. So this is Waterways Recovery Group down here. It's a Newbury group next week, and then KESCRG the week after that.
So this was the second weekend that I did down here with them. So as you can see on the right hand side, all the brush has been cleared. The coping stones are all just sat on the side, and the lock is very full still. So not only is it full of water where this bit under the bridge hasn't been dug out, but the bit in front is obviously still being dug out to the dumpers on the side. And then back to this other side, just a quick view as well. You can see that it's nowhere near as deep as what's showing in sort of the latest videos that have come through today. It's a great testament to not only the volunteers of the Cotswold Canal Trust and the Cotswold Connected and all those others involved, but to all these big national groups who give up weekends and weeks at a time just to come down and help on projects that quite often are nowhere near them. This is all volunteer-led. Great news, we now have members. So on the main page, this will look a bit different because this is my own page. There'll be a join button. It's normally right by the subscribe button. You may not see it on a mobile, but you definitely will find it on a desktop. If you click that, it gives you a couple of options. We've got Narrowboat, which gives you badges, status updates, shout outs at the end of the video, as well as you now get the drone only footage. I will be making future drone only footage despite not saying I will, and that will be a member only video. And then you've got the wide beam option, which is a little bit more, but you get live streams, so we can arrange at times for us to have little sort of sessions where we can all discuss what's wanted from the channel, what you want to see from my videos and stuff like that, as well as behind the scenes footage, which I'll start making now.
So one thing that happens when they're digging these locks out is they find quite a lot of interesting stuff. They find a lot of the coping stones sort of buried in. They find sort of metalwork. Last time we were down here, we found the top of the lock gate, like the handrail. But here you can see the winding gear. So they've got that's the main bar down through. Look, you can probably see the teeth on it. So there would have been a paddle at the bottom of that. You wind the gear at the top, which they've also found. Still connected to the top beam of the gate there, look. You can see it across there. A bit cleaning up. It might look quite cool, painted up. It won't be workable anymore. I don't think they'll ever get that running. And then a large section of gate over here as well. There's one of the bracing bars, look, just down here. And the main gates here. I don't know if it's the same gate, two parts. Also a ring there. So that's what ties the gate to the top. It sits into the bottom and then tied on under the top. It's a lot deeper than last time I was here. A lot deeper. You can see it now better than you could when I was on the bridge.
Let's have a look at this. And this was earlier in the year, around February time. This is the second dig I did with the groups. This was Waterways Recovery Group, I think it was. They kind of dug some of the main lock out, and they started to expose just sort of under the bridge there, sort of the old wall. You'll see when we pop back to the next video just how much deeper it is at this point here, and just the overall height in the bridge. So you could get that little tiny digger down. You couldn't get a bigger digger down in there at all.
Just shows you the depth of this canal. They were sort of seagoing vessels. It was the Severn Trows coming up through here, so they were quite a large boat, you know, sort of 15 foot wide, and they kind of went all the way up to Brimscombe Port. Got more gate on that side as well. Somewhere down here is the end of the spillway we dug out a couple of visits ago. I'll put the link for the video up in the top corner. They're actually bricking it up now, which is pretty cool. We weren't too sure what was going to happen with it at the time, whether it's just going to be a concrete liner, but they've actually done it properly. They've made a shutter and built a brick arch. It's looking really good. If you don't already subscribe to my channel, please can you click that subscribe, click the bell button as well, and you'll be notified about videos. It's a massive boost to my channel when you do, so please do click that.
So this was the first work party I did down here. So it was with KESCRG, they're another national group. We found this whole channel coming through, and we just got to the collapse. This was on the end of the first day digging, and then on to the second day we exposed a little bit more. You can see where the walls are pretty good and the bottom's pretty good, but the top is not great at all. So we weren't too sure what was going to happen with this. We thought they might have to rebuild it completely, but obviously not. And a little quick look while we're here as well, down into the lock, which you'll see some sort of stuff in a bit. They're building the wall just on where the lock gates sit now, but this is another good view of how much stuff was left in here, not that long ago. There hasn't been any work parties here for various reasons, but there's this video now is just covering the first of 3 weeks on this site. So this was the same work party, but the next day we dug a bit further down. That loose stuff you saw originally was actually just loose. The tunnel was a bit further down, so we managed to find this. This is the bywash, or the bypass, whatever you want to call it, which takes the water from the top of the lock, from the pound down to the bottom, and you can see it's in quite good condition. You can actually see sort of right down to the end, and you can see a slight curve in the end where it goes, we think, around the bridge. They're not too sure on the exact location of that yet, but like I said, they're now rebuilding this section, and it's looking quite good. You'll see that in the next clip. So now here we are. This is at the end of the first week of the 3 weeks work party. They've cleared quite a well. You can see just to the right hand side where the gentleman's lifting sheets off for me now. That's all been done, and they've backfilled, and they've come quite a long way across. So what they've done is they build like a wooden shuttering and then build the brickwork across the top.
So this is the end that's was destroyed. So the bywash will come out around sort of where these steps are somewhere here, and then the lock needs to be rebuilt on that side. You've got the sill roughly where those people are working, just over inside the lock there. Brickwork can continue up this end at the moment. They need to clear the rest out and start getting scaffolding in for the bottom part of the lock. That's probably still got a couple of days clearing ahead of it yet. You can't see too much from here, but this is where the canal is going to go through on an aqueduct, and the lock gates will be just kind of ahead of us there, with a culvert here, sort of an aqueduct going into them. The canal runs from just behind us here. So those new to these videos, the canal line used to run pretty much directly through the gap there. You've got the M5 just up ahead there. This was originally known as Westfield Lock, but it's now called John Robinson. So someone left a lot of money to the trust to restore this lock, and there's going to be a new lock just on the field over there. The canal's going to curve around, follow kind of the river, and go under the M5 where the river goes under, sort of parallel to the river. So there's going to be a new lock here, which will be the new Westfield Lock after.
So I'm not going to come down next week. Let's have a little surprise for what's going to happen down here. I will be coming down in a couple of weeks' time, though, hopefully for maybe a day or so, or maybe just a couple of shoots for the third party, and try and get what this is going to look like after 3 weeks of very hard work from the volunteers.
So thank you for watching. Please click on the links in the description. You'll find the Cotswold Canal Trust linked into there, as well as Waterways Recovery Group. They rely on a lot of donations and members and stuff like that, so please do check it out and see if you can help out. Have a great day.